Science Experiment Friday. Today we're going to take a look at the plants. Not that today is a good day to plant anything considering it's snowing outside, but it'd be good information to have when you can go outside and do some planting. So let's take a look at this drawing I made. The first thing I want to show you is the different parts of the plant and their function. So if we take a look, starting at the bottom, we have the roots. And the roots are down here. They're in the soil. And that's really the first thing that's going to start growing on the plant, because what it needs is something to hold the plant up. So as the plants get growing upward, something's got to anchor it to the ground, and the roots do that. But the other job of the root is to actually get the nutrients from the soil. So it's taking any water and food from the soil, and it's bringing it up into the plant, which brings us to our next part, which is the stem. Now the stem you can think of as a straw. So think of you putting a straw into your drink. You suck into the straw and your liquid comes up through the straw. That's kind of what the stem does. The stem gets food and water from not only the roots, but also from the leaves. Because if you look, the stem actually comes attached to the roots, and the leaves are attached to the stem. So they all work together. Then we have the leaf. Now the leaf has a very, very important job because it provides the food that it needs to grow. So it uses air, it uses water, it uses sunlight to make the food. Then we take a look at the actual flower itself. The flower makes seeds, and the seeds you usually find in the center of a flower. And those are the things that are going to make another plant grow. So then it continues the cycle. So when you see a flower that's almost dying out, you're going to see that the seeds will start dropping to the ground, and then a plant will grow from that. So let's take a look to see what a plant actually needs to grow. So I came up with just a few things here. So obviously it needs water, it needs sunlight, it needs food, and it needs space. Now the first two are pretty self-explanatory, but where does it get food from? Well, you can plant plants in the ground, in the soil, and you want to make sure that your soil has the nutrients it needs. And there are other types of plants that actually grow and they don't have soil. So we just need to make sure that they're getting the food that they need. And the last thing is space. The reason I put space down is because if you're planting a garden, you want to make sure that your plants are spaced out properly, because if you don't, the roots are going to get tangled up under the ground, and then they won't get the proper nutrients. What experiment are we going to do today? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to see if the stem of my flowers are still functioning. We're going to see if they in fact work like a straw. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the flower out, and I'm going to take some food coloring. It looks just like this, just anything you have at home. And I'm going to add a few drops to the water. And then I'm going to put the plant back in. And I'm going to do the same thing over here, but this one I'm going to make purple. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them set, and I'm going to see if the stem is actually going to suck up the nutrients out of the water and go to the rest of the plant. So to find out if this is working, you have to stay tuned on Monday.